Well, hello everyone, and welcome to our very first online confirmation class of this 2020 confirmation preparation season. And life has been all a bit different, hasn't it, for all of us in so many different ways over the last few weeks. And our confirmation process and our confirmation classes is one of the ways, one of the things that's been affected really. Normally, of course, we'd all meet together in a big group or two groups, as there's so many of you wanted to be confirmed, and we would have our classes over about 8 or 9 weeks, and we'd learn lots of things and share lots of things together. Well, at the moment, of course, we can't meet together. Hopefully, at some point, we might be able to in the not too distant future. But for the time being, I thought at least we can crack on with the confirmation classes as best we can using these videos and using Google Classroom as well, which you've all been doing so far. And thank you for those that have signed up. And in these sessions, what I propose to do, for as long as we have to, is do a video and also then post something on Google Classroom with a link to the video and also some things for you to do, a little assignment each week. Nothing too serious, nothing too heavy. So hope that sounds okay. And as I say, hopefully before too long, we might be able to meet up together. Now, I'm here in the vicarage where I live. This is my study. You can see all my books behind me there and my vestments hanging up here. This is where I am. Normally, in our first session, we would go around the room and introduce ourselves to everybody so we could get to know each other a little bit. Obviously, we can't do that. I've got to know you a bit by the pieces you've written about yourself that you've submitted on Google Classroom. So thank you to everyone who's done that. Just thought I'd tell you a little bit about me, really. My name's Father Richard Green, and I'm the vicar of the parish of Aberdare St Faggan. I'm nearly 44 years old. I'm originally from Somerset in the west of England, and I've been a vicar in total for, 20 years nearly now. And I've been in Aberdare for just over 7 years. And previously as a vicar, I've lived in the northeast of England and in the West Midlands in England as well. I have to say, Wales is definitely my favourite place that I've lived and worked. So that's a little bit about me. Before we begin our first confirmation session today, I just want to say a bit about confirmation itself and what it is and what it means. And a lot of you have said why you want to be confirmed in your piece you've written, which is great to read about, to find out about. Confirmation really is you, each of you, saying that you want to be a follower of Jesus, that you want to be a follower of his, you want to live your whole life following him and following his teachings. And whenever it might happen, we don't know when yet, there will be a confirmation service. This is what we're leading up to. Bishop June, who is the Bishop of Llandaff, who's like my boss, comes to the church, to St Faggan's Church, and there's a big service, and each of you comes up in front of the bishop and you kneel down. The bishop lays her hand on your head and she says a prayer. She says, "Confirm, O Lord, your servant with your Holy Spirit." And she says that to each of you in turn. And what she's saying, what she's praying for there is God's Holy Spirit to help you and strengthen you to live your life as a Christian. And by coming forward to receive that prayer, you're declaring, you're saying to everybody, to the bishop and everybody in the church, that this is what you want to do, that you want to follow Jesus for the rest of your life. And so it's a really important thing that we're about here. And what I always say to people is that the confirmation classes are important, of course, important to come to them. Confirmation service is an important occasion. But actually what's more important really is what happens in the years after the confirmation service. Do you carry on coming to church? Do you carry on being a follower of Jesus? Do you carry on being faithful to him? Because sometimes what has happened is that people come to the confirmation classes and they're very keen and very enthusiastic about all of that. Then they have the confirmation and perhaps they give up coming to church, or they come for a bit and then they fall away. But the idea is that it's the beginning here of a journey of learning about God and growing closer to God, and that journey carries on for the whole of your life. So it's really important to really stay committed and stay faithful after the confirmation as well. But anyway, I hope you enjoy this journey of being prepared for confirmation that we're on. As I say, hopefully at some point we'll be able to meet up again together in person. Until then, we'll do it online for as long as we have to. Now, this is our first session. I want to begin with a little quiz, okay? And this is a true or false quiz. And I'm gonna have to trust you here to answer the questions just straight away as you listen to this. Don't go away and Google them or look them up. Just answer honestly after I say each question and see how you fare. As I say, it's true or false, so I shall read out each statement, each question, and then we'll see whether you think it's true or false. Okay, you ready? Right. Question number 1. Tennis is a game played by 2 teams of 15 players. Tennis is a game played by 2 teams of 15 players. Is that true or false? A moment to think. Question number 2. Britain has a queen. Is that true or false? Britain has a queen. Question number 3. Swansea is the capital city of Wales. Is that true or false? Swansea is the capital city of Wales. Question number 4. A baby dog is known as a cub. Is that true or false? A baby dog is known as a cub. Question number 5. There are 3 churches in this parish. Is that true or false? 3 churches in this parish. And I was going to give you the answer then. I'll give it in a minute. Say something else, but I was going to give it away. I suddenly thought I shouldn't do that. Number 6. In football, only the goalkeeper is allowed to touch the ball with his or her hands when the ball is in play. Is that true or false? In football, only the goalkeeper is allowed to touch the ball with his or her hands when the ball is in play. Question number 7. A spider has 8 legs. Is that true or false? A spider has 8 legs. Question number 8. Only people over 21 years old can vote in elections. Is that true or false? Only people over 21 years old can vote in elections. True or false? Next question. Paris is the capital city of France. True or false? Paris is the capital city of France. Is that true or false? And finally, question number 10. God exists. True or false? Okay, you can always pause it if you want, give you time to think, but don't look them up. Right, so we'll go with the answers now. Firstly, tennis is a game played by 2 teams of 15 players. Well, that's false, of course. It's rugby union. Tennis is just 1 player on each side, or sometimes 2 if it doubles. Number 2, Britain has a queen. Yes, that's true. Question number 3, Swansea is the capital city of Wales. Well, that's false, of course. It is Cardiff. A baby dog is known as a cub. False. It is, of course, a puppy, baby dog. There are 3 churches in this parish. True or false? That's true. And this is where I nearly gave away the answer, because I was going to say, if you want a bonus point, you can name the 3 churches in a comment on this video. But if I said that before, it would have given away the answer, wouldn't it? Silly me. Next question. In football, only the goalkeeper is allowed to touch the ball with his or her hands when the ball is in play. That is true. Of course, only the goalkeeper can touch the ball with her hands. The next question was, a spider has 8 legs. That's true. Next question, only people over 21 years old can vote in elections. Well, that's false. You have to be 18 to vote in elections. Paris is the capital city of France. That's true. And lastly, God exists. Wonder what you put for that one. Well, I would say true. And I hope you would as well. But it's a kind of a different question to all of the others, because all the other questions, you could, if you wanted to, look up the answer. So for example, the second to last question, Paris is the capital city of France, true or false? To find that out, you can easily look it up on a map, in an atlas, or you could Google it, look it up on the internet to find out if Paris is the capital city of France or not. And if somebody tried to say the opposite, if somebody tried to say, for example, Cardiff is the capital city of France, you could easily show them that that's wrong, show them on the map, show them on Google, whatever. But this question, God exists, true or false, is not the same kind of thing. We can't really look it up on a map or in an atlas. It's all about what we believe. And I believe that God does exist. And as Christians, we believe God exists. But there are many people in the world who believe the opposite, who believe that God doesn't exist and there is no God. And neither side can really say for definite. We can't give absolute proof of one side or the other. But what we can do as Christians is we can point to certain things which are our reasons for believing in God. And that is really the essence of our session today, is thinking about how can we know that there is a God, that God exists? How can we know that? Okay, that's what we're thinking about today. Excuse me. And what I want to do next is show you some pictures. Okay, show you some pictures. And I just want you to have a look at these pictures as I show them up on the screen and have a think, which is your favorite out of these pictures and why? And if I can cope with the technology of it, I might try and include them on the thing that I put on Google Classroom in relation to today's class. And perhaps you can respond by saying, which is your favorite picture and why? So here are the pictures. Firstly, we have some children playing in a field. Secondly, we have a sunset over the sea. Some cute kittens. A tiger. Lots of stars in space. A brightly coloured flower. A rainforest with rivers running through. A butterfly. Some fish and the brightly coloured coral reef under the sea somewhere. Mountains. A desert. all different people. Whale jumping out of the ocean. Finally, a couple of zebra. There we are. Which is your favourite picture out of all of those, and why? Right, moving on to our next little part of the session today, I want you to think about something else. I want you to think about somebody who is your best friend, and think about why that person is your best friend. What do you like about them? What are their qualities? What are the good things about them that make them your best friend? Okay. And now I want you to think about yourself. And what are your good qualities? What do you like about yourself? Okay, what are you good at? What do you think makes you a good friend to other people? Maybe you can write all of these things down as well as part of your assignment for today's session. Well, as we think about all of those things, those are, for me, what point us to the fact that there is a God, that we can answer that question true, whether God exists, true or false. We can say true. All those pictures we looked at were things from the world around us, weren't they? The whale jumping out of the ocean, or the animals, the fish, the flowers, the people, the stars in the galaxy, those landscapes, the rainforest, the desert, the mountains. They're all part of our world, part of the beauty of our world. And for me, they point to the fact there is a God who made all of that beauty. For me, it didn't just happen by accident, didn't just come from nowhere. There's something or someone who made it all, who designed it all, who created it all, and that is God. And then thinking about ourselves, our friends, and what makes them special, and us, what makes us special people. Again, I believe that is God at work. It's God that has given us those special qualities that we like in other people, that other people like in us. And so we've got these two aspects of God, if you like. There's the mighty God, the creator of the whole world and the whole universe and everything in it, and all the beauty and the wonder that there is. But there's also the God that knows each and every one of us and has made us who we are. And I'm different to the next person, and you're all different to each other. You've all got different qualities, different skills, different things you're good at. And I believe that's God that has made us like that. And God knows us, each one of us, and has given us those special qualities to make us who we are and to make us special people. And it's those things that I believe show us that there is a God, and we can say, yes, God exists. That is true. And the next thing I want you to do is write down on a piece of paper, a bit like this, God is. Then underneath, I want you to think of a word that sums up God for you. So it might be, God is creative. God is clever in making everything. God is loving. God is amazing. Whatever it is for you, sums up God for you as we've been thinking about all these things today, about him creating the whole world and everything in it, and creating us as individuals as well. And you know, this question, whether God exists or not, is a really important one to think about, because if God does exist, then it means there is someone there that we can respond to and have a relationship to. There's someone who's created everything and gives meaning and purpose to the world, and gives purpose and meaning to our lives as well. If there's no God, then it means the world is just an accident and there's no purpose to it and there's no meaning to it. And our lives have no meaning really and purpose. But with God, there is. So it's an important question for us all to think about right at the start of this process. And then next week, we'll be thinking about, well, how do we get to know God? It's one thing to know there is a God, that he exists and what he's done. How do we get to know him, to know what he's like and how he has a relationship with us and we can have a relationship with him? So I'm going to finish our session now by reading you a little passage from the Old Testament, the first part of the Bible, and this is from one of the Psalms. That's spelled P-S-A-L-M-S, Psalms. We don't pronounce the P at the start. And they're like songs or poems in the Bible. And this one really, I think, sums up what we've been saying today about how God is both the mighty creator of everything, but also the one who knows each of us intimately. And it's from Psalm 8. I often think of the heavens your hands have made, and of the moon and the stars you put in place. Then I ask, why do you care about us humans? Why are you concerned for us weaklings? You made us little lower than you yourself, and you have crowned us with glory and honor. You let us rule everything your hands have made, and you put all of it under our power. The sheep and the cattle, and every wild animal, the birds in the sky, the fish in the sea, and all ocean creatures. Our Lord and ruler, your name is wonderful everywhere on earth. So thank you once again for joining me today. And as I say, have a look on Google Classroom and there will be activities associated with our session today, and look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, keep well, keep safe. Diolch yn fawr.